is Patty Cronheim, and I'm with Rethink Energy New Jersey. I live in Hopewell Township. I'm also on the board of the Stony Brook Millstone Watershed Association. So I'm wearing a couple of hats tonight. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. First and foremost, I just want to say I live not too far from a current Williams compressor station number 205 in Lawrence Township. And I know people, I have friends who live near that compressor station and have experienced noisy, loud blowdowns that sound like jet engines, children with unexplained nosebleeds, having to evacuate their home because the smell of methane was so strong, having to wait 8 days before Transco responds to their emergency number when there was a loud noise and they didn't hear from them back literally for 8 days. And I've read a letter that this woman has written, and she has me read oftentimes, but those are sort of just the lowlights of what life can be like near a Williams compressor station, which is left unmanned every evening. And this would be the same. Now that's an electric-powered compressor station. This would be a gas-powered compressor station because PSE&G doesn't want to run the lines to them. They can't get electric to it, which is not even state-of-the-art for a compressor station. All right, so this is the dirtiest kind of compressor station you can build is gas-powered to provide the 3,200 horsepower required to run it. I want to just point out two issues: health and safety. Unfortunately, today the American Lung Association report card came out, and 11 counties in New Jersey received Fs, and among them Middlesex County, unfortunately, is one of them. My county, Mercer County, is also one. And I know we're all trying to clean up our air and our water. However, adding a compressor station is going the wrong direction for us. As you well know, the area of the compressor station is already an ozone non-attainment area. And that area in particular also has the second highest asthma rates in the state of New Jersey. Now, it's been mentioned that the gases that come out of compressor stations pretty regularly, it's in the methane, it's benzene, formaldehyde, and all of the volatile organic compounds, as well as the fine particulate matter, which is like the delivery system, so that these chemicals can go in the bloodstream and cause things like childhood leukemia, asthma, neurological issues like autism, endocrine dysfunction, the list goes on and on, increased risk of stroke, increased incident of heart attacks. So the very young and the oldest, the most vulnerable in our population of your citizenry in Middlesex County would be the most impacted by this compressor station. In terms of safety, it's been mentioned that there isn't adequate water to put out a fire, there's inadequate pressure. I've heard firemen from Franklin Township, South Brunswick, get up and speak about this in meetings. I know that the Princeton Manor, as you know, only has one entrance and egress from the facility, and it would be right into the flames if there were an explosion. So the risk of explosion of a compressor station, just to give you an idea, would be about, around along the pipeline, it would be about 60 gallons per second of a fire if this pipeline of this size and magnitude were to burst. And you can't put it out, they just have to wait for it to burn out. And with all the surrounding greenery and the road, and you've got 27, this would be a nightmare, just a complete nightmare in this highly populated area, as it is in just about any place where these very dirty fossil fuel infrastructure projects are built. Safety, also something that needs to be considered, is that we have 1,500 miles of interstate pipeline in the state of New Jersey. A lot of this pipeline is older. A lot of the wells, and that's with a D, not wells, wells that go along the pipelines are what they call vintage wells. And when you have aging pipeline and vintage wells, and you increase the velocity of gas through these aging pipelines, you're increasing the temperature. All right, that's what happens when you increase velocity, you get increased temperature, for those of you who studied physics. And when you increase temperature, you increase chemical rates. So corrosion speeds up. And to give you an example, we're about approaching a year anniversary of a very unfortunate accident that happened with the Texas Eastern Pipeline in Salem County, Pennsylvania last year, where a pipeline of comparable size exploded. They had, Spectra, which was the company, had inspected these lines a year previous, found a little bit of corrosion, but said, okay, we're going to inspect them again in another 4 years, not a problem. After the pipeline explosion, they went, of course, and had to do an investigatory report on this. And they found an unprecedented rate of corrosion. They couldn't understand why had these lines rusted out and corroded so quickly. Well, it turns out, gee, it was downstream of a new compression station. We've discovered a disproportionate amount of explosions that are very close, within 4 miles of new compression. So New Jersey's at risk of becoming a giant safety experiment with all of this increase in volume. And I'm letting you know, between the Penny's pipeline and the Leidy line and this new volume of gas, New Jersey's just about doubling the amount of gas that comes through the state. So this is something you all need to be very concerned about. And just wanted to say, just in terms of being an intervener, and I know I'm done, sorry, going
Time's up.
Yes.
just
Time is up now.
interveners, Mercer County's intervened, Hunterdon County, it's just a placeholder.